Hello, Dr. Sanders. So for our fractal terrain generator program, the first thing I'm going to cover is the program running. So on the top right, you're going to see that there's no OBJ file. And once we run it, we're going to get the prompt to either raise, lower, or flatten the OBJ. So if we go ahead and type raise, the next prompt is asking the user the center X and the Z axis, as well as the radius and the target height. So for the X, we could do 30, Z, we could do 19, radius of, let's do 25. And the target height, we could do 40. So if we go ahead and save it, you can see in the right corner here, we get an edited terrain OBJ file. So if we go ahead and go to an OBJ viewer, we will showcase this really quick. Guess this is, no, it's not, oh, this is this one here. So you can see here, you can see this left corner here that we raised the OBJ file. So if I go ahead and go do code review, the one highlighted in blue is the book code, and then this is Tino's code really quick, the one in red. So essentially what I was focusing on was the capability of raising, lowering, and flattening the terrain. The way we did this is using a scanner, scanning the user's inputs. We expected a parameter of a float with the height map, as well as a int with the center, X, and Z, as well as the radius. And the float is the amount, so pretty much the target height that we were expecting. So for raising the terrain specifically, what we did was we did the size, we set a variable inside this method, and we did the height map dot length. We also created a nested for loop, and the idea is this for loop iterates through the max and the min, or I'm sorry, the parameters are going through each iteration, and essentially the main goal is when distance is less than or equal to radius, then we set the height map X and Z in the double array, and we increment it by the amount and multiply it by 1 and subtract it from distance divided by radius. So this allows you to raise the terrain. And essentially for the lower terrain, what we're doing is we're passing in the same parameters as a rise. And what we do is we call in rise terrain. And instead of the amount being positive, we're going to think of this as inversing the amount that the user wants. So essentially it's the same concept for the raise terrain, or lower raise. And then for flattening the terrain, what we're going to do here is we increment through the, we created a nested for loop here. And the same parameters as the rise, except that we are using the target height that the user inputted. And when the distance is less than or equal to the radius, then we set that to the height map and we save it on the double array, and we're gonna set that equal to the target height. Yeah, and that would be it for me, Dr. Sanders. Thank you.